Hello crafty friends, Gloria Parra here today for Hip Kit Club. I will be creating one last layout with the Signs of Summer collection, and this kit was part of the August kits that were offered. I will be using the pattern papers, the 12 by 12. I will be using the beautiful ephemeras and chipboards. These are all part of the embellishment kit. So in the embellishment kit, you get stickers, stickers, puffies, you get everything that you would need to create some wonderful layouts or projects or mini albums. I will also try to incorporate the super fun dies that are part of the August kits. And yeah, friends, we have tons of beautiful products to use and create something really fun. So Kimberly makes sure that each month you don't only receive a beautiful high quality kit, but she also makes sure that you receive tons of inspiration. So we love sketches, right? And we have the best sketch maker designing for Hip Kit Club, and that one is Allison Davis. I just adore her sketches. In my opinion, she does some amazing sketches, instructions, and she gives you ideas and directions to alter it, to make it a little more simple, or if you want to go above and beyond, you can add stitching, you can make it a double page. So all that information, friends, is right here. So when you are part of the Hip Kit, you get all these fun perks. You also get to be part of the school platform, and that is such a wonderful community. We have fun challenges going on there. We have lives, we have crops. So I really invite you to go check it out, to grab one of these sketches. If you're interested, you can use my discount, Gloria. I will leave it down below, and you will get an extra 10% discount on your next order. So friends, this month we got tons of sketches. We have this one, we have a more, like strips idea here. I already used this one and love the result. I just created a heart instead of that shape, but I went with a triangle idea. We also got this one, and I used it and changed it for butterflies. So your imagination is the limit. This would be another great one to use with this kit since it's very tropical and summer related. For today, friends, I will give this idea a try. I think it is very different to what I create. And that like sunburst, circular shape there reminds me of summer, of sunshine. So let's get creating. So since it is a kind of a busy sketch, we get lots of shapes, and I want to change up the stars for ephemeras. It's gonna be busy. So I'm gonna bring in a white cardstock here as my base, and I want 3 patterns to create my little circulars here, or like triangular shapes that will make the circle. So I thought these 3 patterns would look nice, and they are not so busy, so I can tuck in lots of embellishments. Okay, so let me bring in my cutter, my circular cutter. Here in the instructions, we get circle sunbursts as holes. So we will need to cut a 10-inch, an 8-inch, and a 6-inch circle. And then we will start just creating lines to cut these shapes apart. So I was thinking about the papers before cutting them, and of course I like to make things harder for me. And I thought that 3 colors wasn't enough. So what I'm gonna do, friends, I'm bringing in 2 tones like of each color, or 2 patterns of each color. So I have 2 corals, 2 blues, and 2 yellows. And I'm gonna cut both of these to 10 to 8 inches and to 6 inches. And I will just, do one darker, one lighter, one darker, one lighter, just to create even more contrast and interest on my circles. And for that, I'm gonna use this favorite tool of mine. It's a circle cutter, and you just move the little dial here and you take it to 10 inches and you just turn it there and then go ahead and cut it. I won't take you through all of that. Okay, I will come back when I have all my patterns cut so we can draw the lines and cut the little triangles. All right, friends, I have my circles ready. The only one that I'm missing is this blue here. And really, I want to try to take the little triangles from this piece here because I love the B side, or actually the A side with the square. So I'm planning on using that paper. So I would love to get the rectangles from here. Hopefully I can. So I think this is the easier way, or at least the way that I'm gonna do it to get the triangles. So I'm gonna bring in my ruler. Okay, and we will create our center. So this is 10, and I need to create a little mark. Let's do it here and come to the middle. Actually, I'm going to use my old ruler where I can see exactly. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, I think that's good. Okay, that's going to be my center, and this won't be perfect, so don't stress about getting it perfect. You will just draw a line there. Okay. I think I have to bring it a little to the left. Just draw a faint line that you can then erase. Okay, there we go. Now let's come here and create another line. I'm not sure you can see anything there, right? But I'm just creating lines, and I will then try to get it as best as possible in the middle and create my diagonal line and the other one down here. So let me try to see if we can try to calculate the middle part, but I'm sure there's like a perfect way to do this, but I am not stressing about that. I'm just trying to get to the middle and cutting. Okay, now I'm gonna cut my pieces and do exactly the same for all my circles. All right, now I'm gonna bring in my trimmer and try to do this with my trimmer to get the lines as straight as possible. But you can totally do this with your scissors by hand. Oh, you know what would be great, friends? To label them just so you know the order. So let me do that first before I keep cutting. Yeah, so I can turn this and have 1, 2. There are some patterns that you need to label them because they, you know, it has a cohesion, or if you just place anything, it won't look, the pattern won't look correct. Okay, so let's do that just before we keep on cutting. Yeah, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay, so I'll finish cutting that and come back. You know, I found a great way to line things up to get it as precise as possible. So I have my grid here, and I have it just placed on my line there, so I can count 5 inches on this side and 5 on the right hand, and I will get it as best as possible, friends. So use your mat to line things up and help you a little bit with this hard part here. All right, friends, I figured a way to use my little scrap here so I don't have to waste an entire 12 by 12. I cut a complete circle from this little fish paper here. I finally just added the labels in front, and I can then erase it. That way I don't have to be flipping my papers. So what I'm doing here, friends, is I am keeping all the negative blues, the 1, the 3, the 5, and 7 with a fish. Okay, and I have traced the even numbers, so 2, 4, 6, and 8 on my darker blue here, and I will just cut them, you know, and that way I don't have to waste an entire pattern paper. So yes, we have to look for ways to be resourceful and just make things work, right? Okay, so this is my number 2 that goes here. This next one is number 4. You could use your trimmer for this as well, but I am just going to use my scissors. Okay, let's cut a piece here. And so I have 2 sizes now already cut, and look how fun this shape would be if you're trying to create like a pizza themed layout. This would be a great sketch to do that. So you would only use one piece, you know, one piece of paper, and you would change things up. So, you know, your imagination is the limit, friends. You can adapt a sketch to meet your needs. But we will keep this one very fun and colorful for a summer themed page. Right, I have all my little triangles ready. I just arranged it on my white cardstock and made little pencil marks of where I want to place each triangle. I am really tempted to add some stitching like you can see here in the sketch. So I would stitch these 4 patterns, the next 4 patterns, and I think it would look awesome just because I really love stitching, but it's totally not necessary if it's not your thing. So I was thinking of how we could adapt this to different, you know, like different ideas, and a color wheel came to mind that would work so beautifully for like an artistic layout, or, you know, the love for your hobby for creating, that would work beautifully. Another idea is a pie chart, you know, like you would do some percentages, 30% coffee drinking, what a ideal day looks like, 30% coffee, 40% crafting time, 30% family time. I don't know, you know, there's so many ideas, but a pie chart I think would work awesome. This could also work for a donut shape. I think you could transform it to a donut. I don't know, friends, lots of ideas that you could change it up and make it look totally different. Another one that would like be very intricate but very fun at the same time would be like an interactive spinner. So you would use like a brad in the middle or to make it spin. That would be another idea. So just be open to looking at your sketches in a different way and reimagining them every time you create, you know? So let's work with this idea. I decided to go ahead with the stitching. I will add it to the dark colors, the dark blue here and the yellow. I've picked up my colors of thread and I'm ready. I like doing my lines where I'm gonna poke the holes, and I just want to show you how I do them if you're interested in this. So let me put it here so you can see it better. Okay, and I just use my ruler here. This is an OmniGrid ruler, but you can use any ruler. Actually, I won't be stitching all the way to the bottom because this is going to be covered by the second one. Okay, so I'm just going to go until I believe the half of the line there, and the other part will be covered. And what I'm doing, friends, here is grabbing a little piece that I have left from what I cut. This is too small. Let me get a bigger one. I think this one's gonna work since my triangles are not perfect. Okay, and this will give me that perfect like curve so I can do my stitches there. Okay, I'm gonna erase those lines later, but now I have the line there to guide the holes that I'm gonna poke. Now I'm gonna bring in my piercing mat, my piercing tool, and I will start doing my holes. I do them at approximately 1/8 of an inch apart. So yeah, go slowly and try to leave the same distance between holes. And I will go only until half the lines that go down because I will have those covered and I don't want to waste thread or time doing something that's not going to be seen. Okay, I will use 3 strands. So the embroidery floss comes with 6 strands. I will separate them and only use 3. My holes are ready and I'm bringing in my needle and threading it. So I did a little knot at the end and I'm gonna do a back stitch. So a back stitch, you start from the second hole at the back. Okay, you go in and you come through the prior hole. Okay, so that's why it's called the back stitch. You come up from the next hole, bring in your needle and go through the prior hole there. Hopefully you can see it. Go in through the next hole and come down through the prior hole. Okay, and do that all around. I'm actually going to erase my lines. I forgot about that because I don't want any of that to be seen. All right, friends, I'm back with my pieces stitched. As you can see, I have a couple of them. I grabbed like the darker colors and stitched the borders, leaving those corners blank because I will be covering it. Here I have my photo. I first cut a circle just with a die that I had on hand from one of the cardstocks, and then here's my photo. This is a 3.5 photo and it's going to be placed right in the middle, and look how good that looks already. Nothing is adhered. I was just playing with the placement. So now that I have everything how I want it, oh, I just took a photo here. The order very unstructured of how I wanted. So now I'm just going to adhere my pieces and then we will start the fun part, friends, decorating. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to have them in the correct order. And I have the marks on the first layer of my circle, so that's the hardest one to do. And I will just add, I'm not sure if I want these adhered with double-sided tape flat, or since I have that dimension of the thread here, if I want to add a little dimension, maybe a 1 millimeter, sorry, in thickness of foam, and that way I will have, you know, that little dimension that adds depth to the layout. So I think I'm gonna go with that, friends. I'm gonna bring in my 1 millimeter foam adhesive and adhere those pieces. All right, I have everything adhered now, and I love how this is looking. I used that 1mm thick foam, and it has that super fun texture. Not too much because we have a couple of layers, so I didn't want to go crazy on the layers. So it kind of reminds me this of, not sure what they're called, but those inflatable swimming things. So very, very fun for a summer layout. I have separated my embellishment clusters. I went through all the embellishments. I love getting the 6x8 pad here. I like fussy cutting the embellishment, so I cut a couple of those too, and of course use the embellishment pack, the ephemera pack I mean, and this cardstock shapes to gather all the stuff that I think will work. So to start, friends, I'm gonna have my title, which is Destination Happiness, because of course Florida is a very special place for my family. They have cousins. We have cousins. My girls have their cousins, uncles, aunts. So it is a very special place for them and for all of us. So the idea is to tuck some things behind the title and behind the layers. So I want to bring that ocean feel with the waves here. These are really fun. So let me try to put this back together, because you get it once, but then it's kind of hard. But this is just trying things that you have and seeing what you like and moving things around. So friends, don't forget to check out the Hip Kit. Don't forget to check out the subscription. You really save tons when you subscribe, and you can add on things for free. And now you get that awesome school platform where we are really active, and Kimberly is putting constantly tons of of challenges and fun things. It really feels like the old days of scrapbooking, when we had the message boards, when we had all the fun challenges, and it is a very positive place to be. So I hope you check it out. Now let's move on to the top left cluster, and for that one I chose the floral piece here. I am trying to incorporate a bunch of colors just to tie everything together. And I love the little airplane here, just to convey the idea of, that we took an airplane, we crossed oceans to get to this place that we love. So yeah, and the little, beach house, I love that. So we have that one. I'm gonna create another one here and one at the bottom. So just to guide the eye a little, I will put those embellishments together. And I love this kind of circular or hexagon shapes that just brings on that fun color and shape. And I'm trying to, bring straight lines as well as organic shapes to my clusters. I'm also incorporating the stickers from the cardstock shaped stickers that has this gorgeous florals and all the fun icons. So just go through all the embellishment, friends, and see what works. Start playing with them until you find the embellishments that you like and you get them looking how you want. And now everything is adhered, friends. I am loving this. I think I want to frame this or hang it in my scrap room for my girls to see it, because it is super fun and full of texture. So now to finish my layout, I love bringing in confetti pieces. That's what I like calling them. And it's the puffy shapes. They make like the perfect finishing touch that you can bring to your layouts. So We can sprinkle around fun shapes that will work. I have one here. I think it was this one. The cup, to bring some green up here. So this is the perfect time to see if you're missing some of the colors in your clusters and bring in like a little bit of that color. So maybe we can bring the geotag here. We can pop in a little sunscreen. I don't know, friends, just try around all the little elements, and I will leave some still shots at the end so you can see the finished result. Oh, and one more thing. For my journaling, I'm going to add some journaling strips here, some type journaling below my title. And I think that's it, friends. I love how this turned out. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something new. Don't forget to check the hip kit. This is the August kit, and the new ones are to die for. I can't wait to receive them and start creating. But if you have some summer memories, this is the perfect kit for you. You can also join us at the school platform. I'm going to leave the link down below so you can join all the fun activities that are going on over there. So thank you, friends. This was Gloria Parra for Hip Kit Club. Until the next time, bye.